the best part of my role tonight, I get to introduce the next speaker. Mr. Robert Kraft, like myself, is a native New Englander. He too literally grew up watching the then Boston Patriots, becoming such a die-hard Patriot fan that he eventually bought and transformed the franchise. As we say in Boston, that's wicked awesome. Mr. Kraft is a hometown hero, now a nationally and internationally known icon in the sports and business world. Mr. Kraft is an amazing businessman, a true innovator, and an inspirational leader. And he likes very short introductions. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, a true New England and American Patriot, Mr. Robert Kraft.
That was a wicked awesome introduction. Well, I want to thank my good friend, Major General Greg Martin, for inviting me to be here tonight. You know, as an owner of an NFL franchise, I have the great privilege of introducing some of our leading CEOs in the country to people like Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, Wes Welker, and Vince Wilfork, and I always enjoy seeing them be starstruck. Well, tonight I'm the starstruck CEO. It's such an honor to be here tonight and among so many Patriots, but especially to meet Admiral William H. McRaven, who is a true Patriot hero in my book, and I want to congratulate you on receiving the American Patriot Award. I believe that if you want to enjoy life, you need to surround yourself with good people. And I'm always happiest when I'm surrounded by patriots. So, thank you. I was asked to say a few words about what does it mean to be a patriot. And in a room full of distinguished patriots, including distinguished Service Cross, Navy Cross, Air Force Cross recipients, members of the Special Ops community, and the wounded warriors who are all here tonight, I would personally be disrespectful to even attempt to give my definition of the word patriot. Each of you define the word and have committed your life to the service and protection of our country. Those of you in this room and the men and women with whom you serve, in my opinion, are the foundation of our nation. Each of you, in your own free will, have made the choice to pursue careers serving our country. And in doing so, in my mind, you're the ultimate patriots. The concept of a military made up of individuals who have made the decisions to be patriots by choice is one that no country other than this great country, America, can claim. And as the owner of the New England Patriots, I thought it would be more appropriate to share a story about the patriotism we feel by bearing the name and wearing our nation's colors. For everyone in this room and everyone in the country, the events of 9/11/2001 were one of the most memorable years of our lives. It was that year that we were attacked, and the actions on 9/11, in my opinion, once again unified our nation. I think the country became more patriotic, and sports was one of the avenues in which it was expressed. A week after 9/11, we resumed our season by hosting the dreaded New York Jets. For that game, we handed out flags to every fan as they entered the stadium. There was an overwhelming sense of pride and patriotism that day. And something happened that I had never experienced as a Boston sporting event. Our fans, over 60,000, stood as one and cheered the New York Jets. In my entire life as a Boston sports fan, I have never seen a New York team cheered in Boston. It was one of, yes, it's worthy. It was one of those iconic moments that I will never forget. We were no longer Boston fans or New York fans. We were all true patriots and proud to be Americans. That year, we overcame many obstacles as a team, including the death of our quarterback coach, a 1-3 start, and the loss of our franchise quarterback, Drew Bledsoe, in that Jets game. Yet we persevered. Our players put the team first every week. And after a 5-5 start, we started stringing together victories, and the team gelled. We won 8 straight games to advance to the Super Bowl. When we arrived in New Orleans, the entire city was decorated with emblems of the American flag and the colors red, white, and blue. There had never been a more patriotic Super Bowl. It just felt like we were supposed to win, even though we were 14-point underdogs to the St. Louis Rams. I am proud of 2 new traditions that started with that Super Bowl. First, we changed the way teams were introduced. Prior to 2001, teams had always been introduced individually by announcing the offensive or defensive starters. And it became quite an individual celebration of each player, and the NFL always got this position sponsored and was paid a lot of money. But at Super Bowl 36, for the first time, we told the NFL that we wanted to be introduced as a team. I can remember the NFL being upset with us for doing that because it didn't follow the script and we would not follow our sponsor's money path. But it wasn't the Patriot way that season to highlight individuals. We were a team, and that's the way we decided to come out, being fined or not. And I still meet people in different walks of life who say to me, who were watching that game, when you came out as a team, I knew you were going to win. Well, I wish it were that easy, but I do think it spoke volumes of the importance of what you all know about team philosophy. What we didn't know is that we would start a new tradition at that time, and since then, every team now comes out as a team. We won the Super Bowl with a field goal as time expired. It was our first championship in 42 years, and upon receiving the Lombardi Trophy, I ended my remarks by saying, "We are all Patriots, and tonight the Patriots are world champions." And with that win and those comments, a new relationship with the military was born. Later that year, when we were honored at the White House, we started another tradition when we took the team to Walter Reed to visit our wounded warriors. We were the first team to ever combine 2 visits. We ended up winning 3 of the next 4 Super Bowls and returned to Walter Reed each time, and in 2005, we made sure to extend our visit to Bethesda as well. That 2001 season was a very special and memorable season for me. I am personally blessed to own an NFL franchise. It has provided me and my family many unique opportunities and special moments that I have been fortunate to experience. 2 of these moments, which truly stand above the rest, have involved associations with the military. One of these events took place this past week at Gillette Stadium, where along with a group of veterans who rode motorcycles together called the Rolling Thunder, we did something which I am personally embarrassed to say should have been done a long time ago, both in our stadium and other stadiums across the country. We dedicated an empty black seat to honor our incredibly brave and selfless POWs and MIAs. This seat will serve as a permanent reminder to the millions who attend sporting events at Gillette Stadium each year of the freedoms and liberties that men and women in our armed forces make possible for the rest of us. In dedicating this seat, I learned that there are more than 92,000 men and women since World War I who were or remain POWs or MIAs. That number is just astounding to me because, please God, this Sunday we'll have 70,000 people sitting in the stands. And the visual to me is that there are still 22,000 POWs or MIAs that couldn't come into our stadium. And we have to remember these men and women. And I'm really embarrassed that our industry has not thought of this sooner. And I personally hope that every other stadium and arena throughout the country will install an empty black seat so that we can touch the hundreds of millions of spectators who come through our building. The second great memory for me is when our head of security came to me a couple of years ago and said that the Navy SEALs had approached him to ask if Gillette Stadium might be available for one of their urban training sessions. In the past, they had problems either securing NFL stadiums for these exercises, or if they did, too many legal restrictions and indemnifications were placed on them. Or in government terms, there was just too much red tape. In my world, when it comes to support of the military, we don't believe in red tape, just green lights. So we allowed the SEALs to full run of our stadium for an urban training exercise. No paperwork was required. It was a handshake agreement, and I considered it an honor to be asked. And as I sat at the top of the stadium, watching these truly exceptional Americans perform their craft at the highest level, I was moved to tears. Going down on the field and having a chance to meet these brave soldiers at the end of the day who were so appreciative of the use of the building humbled me more than almost any experience that I've had in my life. So in closing, standing here tonight, I am humbled by the presence of so many great patriots who selflessly dedicate their lives to protecting our liberties and freedoms. Thank you all very much, and go Patriots.